In this episode of Akram's Ideas, I put a dress on a dress form. Hello and welcome. I'm Akram Tagavi-Burth, and you're watching Akram's Ideas of bringing creative and crazy ideas to life. It is once again time for On the Sewing Table, where I share with you my plans for the next few months or season. In this case, we are looking at my spring 2018 sewing plans. I don't know if I've mentioned this in my past videos recently, but I am actually at work coordinating a massive event, the Heartland Gaming Expo, that was held this past weekend on April 7th, and we had over 500 attendees and competitors combined. It was very successful despite the 1-hour delay start because of the sleet and ice that happened that morning. But it took up a lot of my time this past March and early April to get that done, and now as we into the end of the semester, I'm not going to get a lot of sewing done for spring, I guess you could say. In fact, I probably won't get a lot of these projects made until May. That's just the way it's going to be, but I have a lot of stuff planned and I wanted to share with you. Hopefully I can sneak in 1 or 2 sewing days here and there, or at least time for cutting and prepping, so that these all kind of fall within the spring sewing plans. I'd been watching Lindsay from Inside the Hem, who has been going on this long-term process of finishing her UFOs. And I have a ton of UFOs. They all pretty much stem from 2015, where we moved from Kansas back to Oklahoma, and we were in this transitional phase of living in a small apartment, trying to get a house, trying to figure everything out. So I would start a project, and then we would move and we would get packed up, or I would start a project and just feel like it wasn't the right project. I was just not with it and never finish it. So I ended up having this huge pile of UFOs. And since early March, I knew that I wanted to try to get into my spring sewing, but I didn't want to dive into my plans, and I didn't want to just not sew when I had a little bit of time available, because I had such little time available. I wanted to make the most of it. So I ended up deciding that the spring sewing timeline, I would actually work on some of my UFO projects, which is actually one of the projects that I'm wearing right now that I just, like the other day, whipped up, or finally finished, I should say. And this is the Kristen Hayes Sassy Librarian Blouse, which is from the Crafty course. And I started this project, like I said, probably back in 2015 and never finished it. And primarily because it does not fit right. And you can see it is like gaping all over the place. Mainly it needs a full bust adjustment, and I was lazy and I didn't want to mess with it. So I just added a little extra in the front, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help at all. It needs a full bust adjustment, and I went ahead and put the buttons on. You can see it kind of pulls right here, especially. I'm not happy with it, but I finished it. It just needed the hem and it needed the buttons, and so I whipped it up, finished it. It's just something that I can throw on like over a tank with jeans when I'm around the house. It's not my best work, but I actually finished it, so now it's done. And another example of that is this Coco dress that I have behind me. This one is way back, again, I think 2016, is that I whipped up the dress and it did not fit. I had put the bodice part, the main part of the dress together, and I had gained a lot of weight. It just didn't fit. Now, I'd been on a weight loss journey, and so I decided, you know what, I'm going to finish the dress and see if it fits. So I put on the sleeves, I put the collar on, and finished hemming it and everything. And it does fit, but not 100%. Mainly the fabric choice that I chose for this is that same sort of wavy type of fabric that I made my blue cocoa top in. And it is not the stretchiest thing. And when I made the cocoa top, the blue cocoa top, I knew that that fabric didn't have a whole lot of stretch. So I actually went up a size when I made that. Now, this was prior to this, so I did not know that. So I made my size. And while it fits, the bust is really tight. It just needs a little bit more give here. And this is because the fabric isn't stretchy enough. And despite that, I did finish the dress, so it's no longer in my UFO projects, but it needs to have more stretch. So I don't know how much wear I'll get out of it. So needless to say, the main stuff that's going to be happening through March and April as far as sewing projects are going to be my other UFOs. I have a vintage pattern from the 1960s. It's Simplicity 3580, which I started way back in 2015, never finished it, and it's all cut out. It just needs to be put together. So I am going to finish that up. Another unfinished project is a patio set that I was making. If you follow the Atomic Redhead on Instagram, she wears a ton of these adorable vintage patio sets, and I really wanted to replicate something that she's worn. So I actually just got myself, I had some red fabric, some cotton fabric in my stash, and this was like back a year and a half ago or so, 2015, 3 years ago now or something. And I was doing this rickrack pattern on this, going to be this giant gathered skirt and sort of this peasant blouse top with rickrack as well. And this whole project got kind of tossed in the bin because I ran out of rickrack. And I managed to buy some more, but then never picked up the project again. And one of the reasons is that the skirt is just like overwhelmingly massive. It's probably bigger than it needs to be, but we'll see once it's gathered how it turns out, if I need to take out one of the panels or something. But I have this and then the peasant blouse. And I have all the rickrack now, and I just need to attach it to the skirts and the blouse and then finish it up. So that's one of those UFOs that I will be working on this spring. I also have some curtains that I have promised my husband forever that I was going to whip up. I have a couple of skirts that need to be refashioned in some way or form. So those are just a handful of the projects that are really going to take up my time between March and April, since I don't want to dive into any new or more complicated projects until I have the time to work on them. Moving along into late spring, some of the projects that I do have planned, I really want to start knocking out more of my Make 9 plans. And one of the things on my Make 9 plans is the Mimi blouse from the Telling the Buttons Love at First Stitch book. And for that, I have this beautiful, beautiful cotton fabric. It's a vintage fabric, and it is so thin. I want to say it's a cotton lawn or a cotton lawn-like. It's awfully drapey and it's really soft. And I'm going to make the Mimi blouse out of that fabric. I'm also hoping that it's going to work for the little lawn party challenge that's going on to make something for spring. And I think the colors in this is just going to look beautiful. So that's the Mimi top, and with these colors, these beautiful pinks and yellows, I actually have some yellow linen, which I thought looked beautiful when paired with this pink floral hair. So I'm actually going to use the yellow linen to make yet another Delphine skirt, because I love that skirt. So I'm going to make a Delphine skirt and the Mimi blouse and kind of pair them together. And I think it's going to be a really lovely spring outfit. The last spring project that I have planned is actually kind of a big make, as it has several parts to it, and that is Simplicity 2154. And this is a sort of set pattern where it includes a blouse, a knit sweater top, and a skirt. For that, I'm trying to make more coordinating outfits. So instead of just making a single one-off dress, I'm trying to find items that match and really work with a wardrobe where everything goes together. Because right now I have a lot of great items, but nothing really goes together. And I just went through the Colette Patterns, had a make your own wardrobe course through Facebook, and it was really, really great. I learned a lot from it, and I'm really trying to focus on my color choices and palette choices for what it is I'm going to be making. So, like with the Mimi blouse, with those springy flowers, those pinky flowers, and the yellow skirt that goes so well together, I am turning to this knit fabric that I had in my stash. It is this lovely fabric that has these beautiful pink and tan flowers, and it's just very springy. And this is going to be the sweater cardigan from 2154, the 60s pattern. And with that, I am going to be pairing it with this beautiful pink fabric for the blouse top. I think it's very drapey, it's soft, it's a satiny, silky type fabric, and I think it will make that lovely bow so lovely and everything. And of course, you know, what are you going to pair it all with? I am going to be pairing it with this green fabric here. So you can see it kind of matches really well with the greens in the stems of the cardigan fabric. It's a little bit on the stretchy side, and I think it will make a really nice pencil skirt. So that is a full set, the cardigan, the skirt, and the blouse top. And I think just with the amount of stuff that I have going on, and along with trying to finish up all my UFO projects, I think that I have a pretty good amount of things that I want to make for spring. If I actually get done with that, I have a bunch of purse patterns that I've actually already pre-cut out, and I really need to knock those out as far as UFOs as well. But the garment projects are going to take a priority to that. I'd love to hear in the comments below what you have on your sewing table. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Akram's Ideas, and if you did, be sure to give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget to follow Akram's Ideas on social media and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching!